and the big 93. We're coming to you live on the 93 FM band. And of course, we are up on we stream live via Sleek Radio, www.sleekradio.com. And we're also live up on the Conrad Obi the Fireman YouTube channel. At this time of the morning, we're in our spotlight segment. Opposition leader, I don't know what happened. My producer is trying to place a call to you, but we're getting a recording to your number. We have just spoken to the opposition leader and he was adjusting something there, so I don't know what's going on. But the numbers we are making the call from is to you, opposition leader. Don't know if you're listening and are able to call into us. The number is 876-212. Oh, okay, good. I think we have that fixed. So let's continue to remind you that today is the 7th day of April 2026, and we're in our Spotlight feature. Welcome to our feature Spotlight. We are joined by a prominent voice in Jamaican politics, the leader of the opposition and president of the People's National Party, Mark Jefferson Golden, Marky G, as I like to call him, with a career spanning law, business, and public service. Mr. Golden has played a significant role in shaping national conversation around governance, economic growth, and social development. Today, we'll be exploring his vision for Jamaica, the key issue facing the country, and what the future might hold. Mr. Golden, welcome to the program Straight Up right here and Sleek Radio. It's the first time we're having you since we have a name change. Of course, you know, we're no longer News Talk. We're now Sleek Radio. Welcome, sir.
Hi, thank you very much, Conrad. I hope you can hear me. Congratulations on the move to Sleek Radio.
Indeed, indeed. Yes, we're hearing. I'm hearing you. I'm hearing you very well. You're hearing us quite well?
Yeah, I'm hearing you quite well. Thank you.
Good. So, Mr. Golden, how are you doing, sir?
I'm doing okay. Not bad, thank you. You know, it was a peaceful Easter season, and you know, I just want to wish everyone who's listening, you know, all the best for that season. It's now over, but you know, I hope everybody felt spiritually enriched by the journey through Easter. And certainly in our constituency, we had, you know, customary football, six-a-side football competition in Craigtown, and an inaugural domino competition as well, which both of which went very well. So, you know, we've had a good Easter.
Good. Mr. Golden, I have quite a few things that I want to talk to you about. But before, I want to get this one certainly on top of the situation here. Recently, we heard where the Prime Minister, a pledge that he made that he was not taking his increased salary and so on. We saw where he has basically pivoted, and since then he had taken the increased salary and will be getting retroactive. A number of people raised the question about your own scenario, because at the time you said you would basically give back 80% of the increase and take the 20. Some people say, is Mark still doing this? Is Mark doing that? And so on. Could you basically clarify for us what is your situation and that 80% that you have give up on the increase? Is it still in vogue, meaning that it's still going to the bodies that you said you were giving it to? And what is your own take on the Prime Minister taking his salary increase fulsomely, especially after the aftermath of Hurricane Beryl? Yes, Beryl.
Sure. Yeah, man. So, well, the background, of course, was when the then finance minister came to Parliament and announced this massive increase for ministers of government and other officials. And, you know, I personally didn't feel comfortable with it because you will recall that barely a month before, the teachers had settled for an increase, which was for the classroom teachers was around 20% over the 3 years. And I know they weren't happy with that. I know that a lot of pressure had been brought on them to sign off on it because there were, the minister was even saying they wouldn't get their retroactive for years if they didn't accept it and so on. So in that context, I didn't feel comfortable, as a leader of the opposition, taking a massive increase when so many public sector workers, not just teachers, but many different categories of public sector workers were feeling hard done by. So I decided that I would retain 20% of my retroactive and 20% of my ongoing increase in salary. And the rest of it, the other 80%, I would give away to worthy causes. So the retroactive, I gave away to a variety of charities and other worthy causes. And since then, every month, I give away 80% of my increase to worthy causes. What I've been doing for the most part, and I'm still doing every month, is that we have a problem in the constituency with people who are illegally dumping garbage in various spots across the constituency. And people come from outside and dump persons within the constituency because the solid waste is not adequately cleared. They tend to do this, and it creates problems, public health problems, because rats and other vermin and flies and so on gather there, and people then light the garbage or fire, and the smoke is a problem for people's health. So I put in place an arrangement where we pay a stipend to a number of people in the constituency to clean up that area. Well, it's actually 7 different areas. Clean them up. We put barrels in place where they can put the garbage into those barrels, and we perforate the bottom of the barrels so the water can't gather in them. And then the solid waste comes and empties those barrels from time to time. And we pay people to monitor those areas as well, so as to avoid this whole thing continuing. So that costs me roughly 80% of my increase every month. So I think $350,000 a month is what I've been doing, spending that money on. So those communities nearby don't have to live with those conditions on top of them,
Very, very, very well. To close that cycle, of course, during the budget debate presentation with your and Prime Minister Holness leading into the election, he basically beat his chest and said, I did not take the increase. I don't take it. Now we have seen where he has pivoted since then and took the increase, as a matter of fact, along with some retroactivity there. And it's against the background of, a lot of people suffering after Hurricane Beryl and so on. Do you have a take on that, sir?
Yeah, the way the Prime Minister has handled this, I think, is very unfortunate. Originally, it was his cabinet that approved the increase for himself and his ministers and other senior officials. Nigel Clark brought it to Parliament and announced it. There was a big furor in the country over it, and I said I wasn't accepting what I just told you. I was only keeping 20%. And then he announced that he was not going to take it at all. Now, I don't know how he implemented that, because once Cabinet approved it, the government system, the Accountant General and so on, and Parliament pay you into your salary. I don't know if he was able to, because he's Prime Minister, vary the Cabinet decision or what, so that he didn't take it. I don't know what circumstances, but he decided, he made a political decision to not take it, as did I. So, but then what I found objectionable was that throughout this election campaign last year, he never mentioned that he was going to renege on that commitment. He never mentioned that he was going to take it after all. He just, he remained completely silent on that. There were numerous opportunities when he could have told the country what his plan was. He didn't do so. And then after the election and they were back in government again, shortly thereafter, it was announced that he's going to take his full increase, including some retroactivity. I don't even know how much of the retroactive. So now he's getting full salary. And, it's not to grudge him that. And that's what I objected to was the fact that he didn't tell the country of his plan to do it, so that the people could have decided whether they felt that was honorable and just, especially now, we're seeing the effects on the country of Melissa and the increases in prices as a result of the Gulf War or the Middle East War. And, people are suffering. So, the very reasons why people who would have objected to the massive increase in the first place are still very relevant. And I just think he didn't handle this situation in a very honorable way.
Okay, thanks a lot there, Opposition Leader and PNP President Mark Golden, for explaining that. And let me apologize to my listeners. I think I have been saying Beryl, talking about Hurricane Melissa. Of course, we know that Beryl was recent as well, but we are really referring to Hurricane Melissa. Now, Mr. Golden, you have spoken about your vision for Jamaicans' future. What are the top 3 priorities you believe need urgent attention right now?
Well, right now, after Melissa, urgent attention needs to be paid to rebuilding the housing stock of the country that was damaged by the hurricane. Many thousands of Jamaicans lost their homes. Others suffered severe damage. And the response to that has been inadequate. The $10 billion roofs program, if you work it out, it is really going to leave many, many Jamaicans without any sufficient assistance to get proper shelter back on top of their head, over their head. And the issue, of course, as well, is the way in which this is done, because we want to rebuild in a more resilient way. We want to rebuild using techniques and materials that can withstand, major storms, so that people are not put in this position again should we be hit again by a similar massive hurricane. Now, I think that is a major priority at this time. The Prime Minister came to Parliament in his budget speech and he said nothing about this. He was talking about all sorts of projects that they have conceptualized, largely road-related projects, or in the case of Black River, moving the town away from the front and so on. But the whole housing issue was largely ignored. So that is a big issue for me at this time, and I think Jamaica needs a fulsome program of resilient housing reconstruction. Secondly, to get the economy moving in a positive direction and generate sustainable economic growth, there has to be significant investment in the productivity of the nation. And a lot of that is around training and education. We have an education system which is failing many of our people. A lot of our young people leave high school and don't have anything to show for it. They don't have any subjects, and their future is diminished as a result of this. And then we have a lot of young people going to university and get degrees, but they're not really trained, I would say, for the type of economy that is emerging worldwide and where their services can be easily converted into gainful employment. So you have a lot of frustrated young people who have invested so much time and money, getting tertiary education, and then finding that they're not getting the benefits that they'd hope to get from that. And I think we need to really focus on training our young people, putting things in place, apprenticeship programs. What we had proposed was a matching grant for businesses that develop upskilling and training programs. Every dollar that they spend on that, the government, through HEART, would match it. So we would have on-the-job training of the workforce. And through upskilling and training our workforce, we can attract investment in higher value-added business and activities that can generate wealth for our people and move from this low-grade, low-wage, low-tech economy that we're trapped in to an economy that is more vibrant, that is generating better quality jobs and generating opportunities for wealth creation for our people. So that's a second. Yeah.
And the third?
Well, the third, if I had to choose one, really, I think the whole question of how young people are afforded opportunities to get into business. You know, the whole thing about the culture and creative industry, the entertainment industry, and so on. I think we really need to find channels that we can provide support for startups, by young things like technology, data analytics, and all the different things that are possibilities now, where it's so hard for young people to make it because, the channels that exist are always so frustratingly difficult to access. They sound good on paper, but when people try to access them, there are all sorts of barriers in their way. So we had a number of proposals around this. We wanted to establish a fund for young entrepreneurs that, we would replenish annually. We'd start it with $1 billion, and that would provide them with grants and soft loans to get their businesses going and so on. We wanted to also do a similar fund specifically for the entertainment sector to help them because, of course, Brand Jamaica is supported by our entertainment industry, and so is our tourism product. But, if you look at it, it's what the state actually does to really enhance and leverage our great talent and our great strength in the cultural area is relatively little. I mean, there's not a lot of structural support for those industries, and that's what I think we need to do because that's an area where we have a competitive advantage as well.
Indeed. Thanks a lot for those responses there, Mr. Golden. Mr. Golden, before I move to my other questions, you mentioned the whole Black River situation that the Prime Minister have been touted, the redevelopment. It came to my attention from someone who is indeed working on some projects within that neck of the woods, who is very, very au fait with what is going on, that there seems to be some kind of land grabs taking place down there by certain people who are well positioned. And, and the person said to me that I should bring this to your attention so that the opposition, your opposition leader, can basically look at it and put some focus there. Have anything of that nature came to your attention before?
I've heard some of these. I've heard these rumblings that people are taking advantage of the dire situation in which many residents find themselves there to try and buy up land, hoping that it will go up in value when the government puts resources behind this plan to move Black River to relocate and rebuild Black River. All of these things need to be carefully looked at by the Integrity Commission and the other agencies that are in charge. I think there needs to be an audit of all land transactions involving the state, public lands over the last 10 years, because I have heard that there's a lot to be found if you look carefully at what has happened. And I would certainly want to see that done. Land, both sales and leases of publicly owned land, we need to examine that carefully. And going forward, as part of this whole NARA project that the government has been pushing, the accountability piece requires that there be a robust framework for ensuring that we don't see the kind of nepotism that has been a feature of the current government's modus operandi, how they deal with things, to make sure that everything is above board and transparently done, and that there are no favors to friends, that everybody has the same opportunity regardless of who they are and whatever political party they may or may not support, and so on.
Okay, good. Now, Mr. Golden, as leader of the People's National Party, how are you working to reconnect with voters, especially those who feel disillusioned with traditional politics? Hello?
Yes, sorry, the connection is not very good at the moment. I had called in. I don't know if you want to try and call me.
All right.
Maybe it would be
All right. Good. What we will do, we're going to take a break now. So as soon as we conclude the break, we'll call you back. All right. So just stay
all
tuned.
right,
We'll
cool.
call you.
No
All right.
problem.
Let's go to
All
the
right,
break.
man.
We're talking
Cheers.
to opposition leader and PNP President Mark Jefferson Golden. We're having a riveting interview with him, and we will get back to him after the 10:30 break. Stay with us. Don't leave the space. So come.
At Alliance International Medical.
A corrupt government cannot liberate the people. If the head of the stream is corrupt, the entire river will be also. I do not support corruption. Corruption takes money away from children's education. It deprives hospitals of basic necessities. It means that roads are not fixed. Corruption deepens inequality. It siphons off taxpayers' money to make a few cronies richer with the political connections instead of benefiting the people. This government has been doing everything it can to weaken and undermine the Integrity Commission, which is an institution that I designed as Minister of Justice and brought the legislation to Parliament to fight corruption in this country. I have said it before and I will tell you again. Jamaica cannot move forward without a government built on integrity that embraces principles of good governance in this country. A corrupt
sun a shine but things not bright. Do a pot a boil, bickle not enough. River flood and rain a fall. Rain a fall but dirty tough. Nowadays the time so hard when you ask Maddie how them do. Them afraid you take it, tell them back so them not answer you. Not care how much we da work for hard times, still in our shot. We da fight, our time a beat we. They might raise we wages, but £1 gone and pound we pay and we not feel no merriment. For £10 gone and pound we food and £10 pound we rent. Saltfish gone up, mackerel gone up, beef and pork gone up same way. And when rice and butter ready, them just go up a holiday. Cloth, boot, pin and needle gone up. Ice bread taxes, water rate, kerosene, oil, gasoline gone up. And the pound devaluate. The price of bread gone up so high that we have to agree to cut we hype and bread and all turn dumpling refugee. And all them maga smaddy, whether go on like fatty sin, all them they whether fast with me, I left them to dumpling. Sun a shine and pot a boil, but things not bright. Bickle not enough. River flood, rain a fall, but water scarce and dirty tough.
Oh, yeah.
At the UOI campus, and indeed we're also live up on the Conrad Obi, the Fireman YouTube channel. We also stream live via www.sleekradio.com. So stay with us. Of course, we've been talking to the leader of the opposition and People's National Party, President Mark Jefferson Golden, Marky G, and of course, we are putting a few questions to him. We asked Mr. Golden just before the break, let me just welcome back, Mr. Golden. Thanks for coming back, sir.
Yeah, man.
Good.
I can hear you well. Thank you.
Good. All right. So we were asking the question, as leader of the People's National Party, how are you working to, reconnect with voters, especially those who feel disillusioned with traditional politics?
Okay. Well, as we know, we went through a long period of campaigning leading up to the last general election because we had, prior to that, the local government elections had been held in 2024. and then those have been put off 3 times. So basically, for about 3 to 4 years, we were campaigning fairly intensely. So after the general elections, I admit that we went through a relatively quiet period. People needed to recharge their batteries and, rethink the approach they've been taking to this and all that kind of thing. So we have been working on what we consider to be the strategies that are necessary at this time to connect with people who may be turned off from the process or disinterested in public affairs. So we are going to be arranging. I don't want to say too much about it because, we're in a competitive political arena, so I don't want to disclose all of what we plan to do. But essentially, we want to engage in a more meaningful way with people who perhaps are not typically going to go out to a political meeting or a rally and so on, but, may welcome the opportunity to discuss issues of concern either to their specific sector or their profession or whatever it may be. So we're going to be moving more on a kind of, I would say, closer, not one-on-one, but more interactive formats that can allow people to exchange views and feel engaged in the process. So that is the next step of what we plan to be doing. And we're working through the details as to how we want to roll that out. We also have some plans in terms of trying to increase our presence in the media, which, is a challenge for us because we know that the Jamaica Labour Party have, very strong backing in the media landscape at the moment. Certainly they seem to effectively control the narrative from one media house, and then there's another that is very closely aligned to them as well. So we need to find ways of countering that. That's something that we have been looking at as well. But overall, one has to pace oneself in the politics because you can't be campaigning year in, year out indefinitely because it takes a lot of effort to do that. So you have to kind of time that appropriately. But in where we are now in the electoral cycle is a time, I think, for developing our policy positions and our messaging in a changing world environment as well, because, what we had come to the country with in the 2025 general election, those ideas remain relevant, but we are always looking to update them and add other things and modify things that are no longer necessary or relevant and so on. As the world goes through, fairly seismic changes, such as what we're seeing now with the whole geopolitical situation and, the war that's occurring in the Middle East now, so which is affecting everything, affecting the flow of oil and gas, affecting shipping prices, and it's going to affect so many aspects of life that we are going to also have to reappraise our strategies as a nation, and certainly us as a party, as to how we try and achieve greater self-reliance and can weather these storms, both natural disasters and man-made situations like what we're seeing now. Indeed.
Listeners, if you just join us, we're in a discussion with the president of the People's National Party and indeed opposition leader, Mark Jefferson Golden, Marky G. And Mr. Golden, talking about the whole business of the politics, before I get into a few things as it relates to the budget, there are whispers certainly in the eastern part of the island that there could be some movement there. Long-standing member of parliament for Western Portland, Darrell Vaz, it is argued that he could be stepping aside. Don't know if the present investigation or audit by the AG would be so damning that he can't withstand that on the $1.4 billion bus, what is now known as the bus scandal, used bus scandal. How are you shaping up there? Is it a situation where if we're early in the cycle, the political cycle, prior to the reason the PNP said they would not contest by-election because we were so close to a general election and they considered waste of time. Now we are only 6 months out. Should a by-election be announced in the near or mid-future, will the PNP contest such a by-election, and could whoever offering themselves there or the party give the nod to offer themselves there depend on full backing, because of course by-election is normally a party versus party kind of scenario? Could you speak to us on that, sir?
Right. Well, I can't give you a firm commitment as to whether we would or wouldn't contest a by-election. It would depend on the circumstances and when it was called and so on. But put it this way, West Portland is a seat that we have held in the past. And although
times.
the incumbent MP has been there for quite a long time now, we have seen where, we have been able to make inroads.
True, your candidate, Doreen Campbell Forbes. She did well.
Through Doreen's political work and effort. And we feel that, this is something that we're not going to give up on that seat by any means. So, what I would say is, especially if it signals that he intends to retire from politics midstream, so to speak, then, we will have to prepare ourselves for that and see whether that's an opportunity for us to win back that seat. So, we're aware of the rumors. We're aware of it. In fact, I've even had conversations with him personally quite recently where he kind of hinted that was the direction he wants to go. Though in terms of the time frame, I'm not sure what that time frame really is. But we need to focus on rebuilding, strengthening the organization of the party on the ground. That's a critical thing. Uniting the organization on the ground as well, which is also very important. So that if that eventuality arises, we are ready to, if we want to contest it, we know that we can do so in a competitive way.
Indeed.
So, that's what I would say about
Indeed. Now, Mr. Golden, the budget presentation had just been completed. We heard from the Minister of Finance, we heard from the Prime Minister, yourself, and indeed Julian Robinson. As a broadcast journalist, watching reading the tea leaves, has to basically peruse these things and so on. I note where the budget was actually crafted at $62 per barrel for oil. That in itself was certainly something that was quite anomalous to me, because indeed at that point the oil was already about $70 per barrel. So that in itself was some issue there. Since the scenario here with the war, we have seen where I think oil is about $103, $107 per barrel. How problematic is this for the present budget that was crafted and presented to the Jamaican people?
I think it's problematic because the price of oil affects the budget in many different ways. It's a complex relationship. First of all, there is the fact that the foreign exchange that it will take to purchase the supplies of fuel that the country needs, it's going to be a greater level of foreign exchange. It's going to put more pressure on the foreign reserves of the country. And, fortunately, we have quite substantial reserves, but which have been built up over time. But if there's a sustained period of high oil prices, that will, at some point, start to become a challenge for the central bank and the management of the foreign exchange reserves and the foreign exchange system as a whole, including the exchange rate. Then there is the fact that it's going to push up prices across the economy because, as we know, oil and gas affect everything. It affects the energy costs, electricity, transportation costs, and manufacturing items that rely on energy, obviously, to produce, but also petrochemicals and other things. Pharmaceuticals, there is a range of products which rely or use oil-based or petrochemical-based inputs. And all of that is going to be impacted if this thing continues into the medium term. So all of that is going to mean people are going to come under increasing pressure. Cost of living is going to be harder for people to manage. There are going to be calls on the government to respond to that, which is going to cost money, which is not budgeted. So they're going to have to recast the budget. There are some upsides as well because the government taxes.
There will be reaching a windfall
and
there.
So, and that includes an ad valorem tax. So that as the price goes up, their revenue increases. So there's that aspect of it as well. But at the same time, the government also uses a lot of electricity and uses, transportation services and so on. So there are costs that are also being incurred by the government, right across government. So, it's a complex relationship, but there is no doubt that if this situation continues into the medium term, and when I say medium term, I mean rather than say a month, which is what it's been going for now, more or less. If it was to continue for months, then I think it would require some recasting of the budget in a fairly serious way.
Good. That said, Mr. Golden, the ad valorem tax and indeed other attendant taxes that we as motorists pay at the pump, we're seeing across the globe where countries are now giving some kind of reprieve. Do you believe that, especially against the background that we have been paying the $7.50 per liter that should have gone to the edge, and we have no edge? You believe that it's time you think it's unreasonable for motorists to say to the government, it is time for us to get a reprieve, and do you believe that the government is so in a position so to do?
I certainly do, because as you mentioned, and this is it's kind of ironic, we were, when we were last in government, the private sector in particular was clamoring for Jamaica to enter into a hedging program, which was designed to ensure that we purchased insurance, essentially, for the future spikes in the price of oil that would result in payments coming to Jamaica that would balance against the additional costs that you have to pay to buy oil with higher prices. And this was at a time when it was advantageous to do it because the price of oil then was relatively low. Now, we saw the sense in that, and in order to finance it, we put in place a dedicated tax to finance that, which you mentioned, And when the Labour Party came into government, they decided they didn't think it was necessary or wise to do this. Oil prices were low. They didn't think the insurance was necessary. So they abandoned the hedging program, which had been put in place. But they didn't abandon the tax. They kept the tax. And the motorists are still paying that tax today. But there's no hedging program in place. And now we're faced with a situation where oil prices have spiked. They've gone from in the $60 range per barrel up to the $100 range per barrel. And motorists are seeing these increases week after week after week. I believe Petrojam has been absorbing some of this. I think I've heard, a large figure of what it has cost them so far, but they're going to have to pass it on to motorists because Petrojam has been making losses for the last few years, and it's not in a strong financial position. And any further losses are going to have to be paid by the Ministry of Finance. So, this is another aspect of why the budget is going to come under pressure, because if they use Petrojam as a mechanism to take some of the pressure off of motorists by having Petrojam absorbs some of those prices, those losses are going to have to be financed from the government through the budget. So it's a difficult situation. But yes, other countries have stepped up. Close to home, I know Barbados has done various things. They have, for example, I think, adjusted their taxes on fuel or put certain caps in place so that motorists and consumers don't bear the full brunt of the hit. We haven't seen any formal announcement of anything being put in place. I have been told that Petrojam has not passed on all of those price increases to motorists as they have arisen. And they have been generating some losses as a result of that. So they've been doing that kind of without making much of it. But, you know, that is not a sustainable model unless a policy is put in place to support it.
Indeed.
So,
Indeed, Mr. Golden. In the interest of time, I have two more that I want to get in. But let us just remind our listeners that the reason, one of the things that Petrojam is forced to basically absorb, because I think the present setup, and you can guide me on this, Mr. Golden, is that they cannot pass on an increase on a weekly basis of over $4.50. So what they have been doing for the last, I think, 4 weeks or so, 4 going to 5 weeks, they have been basically giving the maximum $4.50 at the pump increase. So they have been absorbing some, as you said, and indeed Petrojam had said so in their own words. Now, Mr. Golden, we continue to see a number of things happening here in Jamaica. Some very, very concerning things that are hitting the screen, you know, and also the airwaves. The scenario where we heard from sitting councillor in the Raytown division accusing not just sitting member of parliament for the Central Kingston constituency, but indeed a member of the political executive of basically stealing whatever situation with land in there and so on and so forth. You know, either way, in my opinion, this is troubling, because if Rosie had gone out there and basically spreading rumors and to tarnish the MPs and member of the political executive credibility, then that in itself is quite troubling. And if it is true, it is even more doubly damaging. Any concern on that, on are you calling on the Prime Minister of Jamaica, who made the appointment of Donovan Williams, to basically pull him from the political executive? Can you speak to us on that, sir, please?
Yeah. Well, I heard the voice notes that went viral. I did hear them. And of course, what was being said in them suggested the misappropriation and misuse of public funds, also improper transactions in relation to land and, you know, properties which had been subject to fires and so on, and, you know, where lands were being parceled up essentially and acquired in ways which lacked any kind of proper process or transparency. So we actually wrote to the Auditor General to say, look, this thing is in the public domain. Although lawsuits have been threatened, the person making the statements has stood by her account of what has taken place. So there may be something in it and it needs to be investigated. And I would say that, you know, the right thing would be for him to step back from any position in government at this time. With those kind of allegations swirling over him, I don't see how he can maintain his position in the government, at least until the Auditor General has had a chance to look at it, or if not the Auditor General, some other agency, you know, MOCA perhaps, or even the Integrity Commission. But this government does not really have a strong policy on accountability. So they will allow people, you know, who have been the subject of these kind of allegations to stay in place and to continue to serve. And this is what contributes to the culture and perception of impunity in the country, and why so many of our people are turned off from the politics, because when things like this happen, you know, it's treated as if it's nothing, and there are no consequences attached to it. And this is why I would certainly want to see the Prime Minister or the General Secretary of their party or whatever say to the person affected, look, step back. and let this thing be investigated thoroughly. Let the chips lie where they fall. And, you know, if you're exonerated, that's great. You come back. If not, well, you know, those are the consequences of what you did. But, you know, we're not seeing that. And that's not part of the culture of how the Jamaica Labour Party manages the country.
Good. Mr. Golden, you believe that the Prime Minister's own non-certification of his filing is an hindrance to him being strident, and is the PNP calling, through its president Mark Golden, calling this morning right here and Sleek Radio, straight up with yours truly, Conrad O'Brien, calling for the Prime Minister to sack Minister of State Donovan Williams?
Yes, as I have said, I think that the Prime Minister ought to require him to step back in light of all of what has been said by their own counsel, and she has not resigned from it. She has doubled down on it, in fact, and said that she's got her own lawyers to defend her position, as is her right. So yes, he should remove him.
Good.
Absolutely. And yeah, in terms of the Prime Minister's own situation, we haven't heard much on that. You know, we had objected to the FID, which had been asked by the Integrity Commission to look into his affairs. We, you know, when the current leader there, current, I think it's Chief Technical Director, I'm not sure what the position is, or Executive Director, whatever that position is called. When that person was being appointed, we objected strongly to it because that person had been on record in public radio,
that's
essentially exonerating the Prime Minister and saying that there was nothing amiss, despite all of the very damning allegations, that not just allegations, investigated findings in the Integrity Commission report. We've heard nothing since on this matter. It has not gone away, and I don't know how it's going to be resolved.
Good.
But certainly it compromises, I think, the PM's internal ability to hold his own team to account.
Indeed. Thanks for that, Mr. Golden. Mr. Golden, it would be remiss of me. I know that you have issued a statement and I'm not going to go into that, right? But I'm saying that the present situation, we have seen a communique sent out just today from the Auditor General as it relates to the UHWI, the University of the West Indies Hospital saga that is ongoing. I know that the Jack Den matter is in there. You issue a statement on that. Well, can you speak broadly, and how do you look at the present scenario that is basically impacting the University of the West Indies Hospital?
The situation with the University Hospital is very dire because the findings of the Auditor General's report indicate some serious mismanagement, nepotism, I think, and so on. And although they've installed a new CEO, you know, the current board and the new CEO are cooperating with the investigations that are going on. You know, a lot of the answers that are coming before the Public Accounts Committee are, you know, we don't know, we weren't there, it wasn't us at the time, which isn't very helpful. But the report itself contains some, you know, very damning things. I think what we thought recently was, for example, so much of the procurement has been done on a non-competitive basis, you know, where people are just given contracts to deliver goods or services to the university hospital without any competitive bidding. And that is fraught with the potential for fraud, essentially, or corruption. And UHWI has engaged in that method of contracting extensively over the last few years. And we've also seen where persons have, you know, brought in things utilizing the tax exemption that's provided by law to the UHWI under Section 14 of the University Hospital Act, and then sell those goods back to the University Hospital at a massive profit to the seller. Again, raising a huge red flag. So there's a lot to be investigated there. And it is in that context that we said, well, you know, we thought it's appropriate for our MP whose company has a long-standing business relationship with the university that he should step back from the Public Accounts Committee in the Shadow Cabinet while all this is being sorted out. And I'm hoping that he will be fully exonerated of any wrongdoing, and we will be able to take it from there. But in the meantime, I think the right thing is, where these matters are in the public domain, are subject of controversy, are subject of public concern, the right thing is to step away, to allow the air to be cleared, and to allow transparency and accountability to reign, so that people can have confidence that
Good.
the country's been governed in a fair and just way.
Good. Recently, Mr. Golden, you said that, listen, you're staying on, as president of the People's National Party and so on, and so therefore there's no vacancy. What have basically allowed you to make this decisive decision that you want to take the party into the next general election? We have 30 seconds, Mr. Golden.
Essentially, the confidence expressed in me by people who I encounter on a daily basis, both within the party and in the general public, who I think saw what happened in the last election, how close we came, some of the methods that the other party used to win some critical seats, which, many people think, were things that should not have happened in the way they did, and so on. So people feel that we've made tremendous progress, that we came up with a strong platform of ideas,
yes,
and that we represent a good alternative. So, I haven't faced calls to step down. To the contrary, I have faced, consistent urging to stay on. So
Good.
I'm really answering that call, because I feel that the country needs that type of leadership.
Thanks a lot, Mr. Golden. Time is upon us. That's Mark Jefferson Golden, opposition leader and People's National Party president. Very, very frank and straight discussion there. Let's go to the 11 o'clock break. Sue, come.
The preceding hour was brought to you by
a very good interview there with Conrad O'Brien and the opposition leader Mark Golden. We're going to go back to Conrad O'Brien in just a moment. As soon as I take the 11 o'clock break, we'll go back to Conrad O'Brien. But believe you me, this interview with Conrad and the opposition leader was very good. Let me take a quick break here in the Make We Talk program. Do not go anywhere. We'll be coming back to listen to what Conrad is saying, and also at 2 o'clock, I think, 3 o'clock, I think we'll be joining the House of Representatives this afternoon. I think it's Parliament Day today. Let me check my media sources here. I think there's Parliament today. And I think Wednesday is the Public Accounts Committee of Parliament again. I think so, I'm not sure. I'm checking all of these things to let you know that we have to keep up to date in what is going on in the land of wood and water. Jamaica, our island home. No matter where we go, we are Jamaicans. No matter island we live in, no matter other countries' nationality that we may take on or citizenship that we may take on, we must always bear in mind that Jamaica is our home, and Jamaica will always be our home. It is one of the greatest pleasure to tell people that I'm a Jamaican. And no matter what country that may give you their citizenship, you were born a Jamaican and you remain a Jamaican. So people may say things and people may do things, but at the end of the day, Jamaica is your home, and we must take it with pride. We must speak about our home with pride and believe in our home, believe that we can be the change that our country seek. Because if we don't believe the change that our country seek, then who will? And we're facing some fundamental issues in this country. Mr. O'Brien asked some very important question of the opposition leader earlier on. Very good questions Mr. O'Brien asked the opposition leader. And if I may say this myself, it was a very good interview. Conrad has kicked it out of the park once more. Very great interview by Conrad O'Brien with the opposition leader, Mark Golding. There is news in the news arena circulating on social media from yesterday, wherein a former member of the PNP is involved in sexual assault of his teenage daughter. A former member, as I said, a former one-term member of parliament. And it doesn't look good. It does not look good.
Let's see.
I was saying to somebody this morning that it seems like some people are hell-bent in mashing up Norman Manley and Michael Manley's party. Portia Simpson and PJ Patterson, Peter David Phillips, and now Marky G, Mark Jefferson Golding. And I can name others. Just like some people within the Jamaica Labour Party are hell-bent in mashing up Bustamante Party, Hugh Lawson's Shearer Party, Edward Seaga Party, and Bruce Golding Party. That they're hell-bent in doing it. But we, the Jamaican people, must not allow anybody to mash up our country. Because Jamaica will always be the country where other nationalities want to come. It is for us as Jamaicans to look within ourselves and have respect for this country and stand up for this country. Great interview with Conrad O'Brien earlier on with Mr. Golding. He asked some very good questions, Conrad O'Brien. Great interview, my good friend. But if the people of this country of ours do not put away the party politics and think about this piece of rock we call home, then I don't think anybody else will. I said it on my platform many times that Jamaica has become one of the most corrupt Caribbean country in the Western Hemisphere. I have never seen so much corruption in my entire life like I'm seeing it now. This Andronis administration, I have seen corruption in the 1990s, and we must go and do our history. Jamaica did not get to where Jamaica is now under one administration, but this one is far more the worse. Let me repeat myself. Jamaica did not get to where it is under corruption, but this administration is far more the worst corrupt political administration in the history of Jamaica since independence in 1962. And many of you won't call a spade a spade. Well, nobody paid for this platform. Nobody helped to buy this equipment for this platform more than few members of the Make We Talk program who may send me something here and there. No political party, no politician helped me buy anything. So I'm free to talk. Nobody have me in their back pocket. And I don't feel no boy, no girl, nowhere. We will speak truth where the truth need to be spoken. And our nation is on a slippery slope. Our country is on a slippery slope in the sense of we don't know where we are going. We don't know where we are going. And we allow these people who we put there to govern this country. We allow them to make laws to suit themselves. We don't allow them to make laws to suit we, the Jamaican people. And when I keep on telling you that we have some people in the halls of parliament in this country who are making decisions for us, who are not fit to be there. When I tell you that we have some notorious criminals and dons that is making laws in this country. Let's go back over to Conrad O'Brien.
Welcome back to Straight Up right here and Sleek Radio. My name is Conrad O'Brien. They call me the Fireman. Of course, we go up until 12 o'clock. We're in the final hour of the program. Of course, we have just concluded the hour that was brought to you by our friends at Wellington Dental. So it's that time of the morning. We're going to be taking your calls. The numbers are 876-212-9824. That's 876-212-9824. And of course, we have a lot of persons who are listening. We are getting new listeners by the droves. And all our friends out there in Central Village in Spanish Town, thanks for joining us. I'll make a little mention later on as we go on. But it's indeed a good look, and we're happy to have all of you coming on board. The number is 876-212-9824. 876-462-0919. Let's go to the callers. Hello, welcome caller.
Yeah, good morning, Stevie.
Good morning.
Yeah, I just wanted to comment on the interview. The interview was a good one, and
thank you.
Mr. Golden was consistent in whatever he was saying from then and now. He has been consistent, and that's a good thing.
Great.
And I really impressed about his. When you asked him about it, what have you done with his salary that he took, a part of it. And he said that the initiative that he spoke about was a good one, because what it does, it allows people to grow healthy in terms of cleaning up the city and so forth. And it also
that is true. That is true. And also remember that there was a kind of question from day one as to how the Prime Minister's salary was allowed to be on hold, because people like myself, I was saying that from day one that it had to be a situation where you would outline how you would be offloading that amount that you would not be taking, because how we understand the government structure runs is that once it approved and so on, then the payout would take place. But as Mr. Golden said, maybe the fact that the Prime Minister is the Prime Minister, I don't know if they were able to do whatever, but even that kind of gymnastics is something that we, the people of Jamaica, need to be explained. Because what happened, not that we are doubting, but we need to understand procedures.
Well, I am glad that he can account what he does it is. That is important, It's important, and I am proud that he employs some people in his constituency, and those people are, cleaning up and monitoring also, and so he can allow those people to to buy a bread or so,
Good.
It's important that he always be giving back his father, his family, and he's still giving back, and that is a good thing. It's a good thing. That's what all I have to say.
Thanks a lot. Thanks a lot, Anthony.
Yeah, you're welcome. So take care.
All right, good. All right, cool. So it's as if this thing continue to get even thicker and more interested as it relates to the University of the UHII saga. And we're seeing a picture here of Julian Robinson, the chairman of the PAC, that's the Public Accounts Committee in the Parliament here in Jamaica. And, here, I'll share these with you. the University Hospital of the West Indies, UHWI, paid strategic alignment, all right, limited US $92,000. That's about 14.5 million Jamaican dollars to create a strategic transformation plan, but reject the draft without explaining why the board did not approve it. All right, I'll continue as we go along, but let's take the call. Don't want to keep the caller holding too long. Hello, caller.
Good morning.
Hi, good morning. Good morning, ma'am. How are you doing?
Yes, I'm good.
Mm-hmm.
I'm calling about the interview with Mr. Golden.
Mm-hmm.
It was excellent.
Thanks a lot.
And two things. It was excellent.
Mm-hmm.
And the next thing I call about, this has to refer to Marlon Morgan.
Mm-hmm.
Being as he had been pressuring for Mr. Garden to step aside,
Mm-hmm.
I believe he should also call on his government to make Mr. Donovan Williams also step aside,
Mm-hmm.
because those information has been damning coming from one of their own
Mm-hmm.
counselor.
Mm-hmm.
So he should also ask Marlon Morgan, he asks his Prime Minister to ask Marlon Morgan to step aside.
You mean to, no, not
also.
to ask Mr. Donovan
And
Williams
even
to
the
step aside?
Yes,
Mm-hmm.
to step aside. And even the Prime Minister to step aside also, because he cannot be certified up to date.
Mm-hmm.
Up to date.
Mm-hmm.
And we don't believe we should have a Prime Minister who's, I said, has not been certified and cannot be certified for the longest while now, to be still
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
in government.
Mm. All right, I'm sure.
No.
I'm sure that Marlon will call in. As a matter of fact, I'm going to be a prophet. I think he may be on the line, so I know he will have something to say. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he needs to ask Mr. Donovan Williams to step aside.
Okay. All right. So
That's my 2 cents.
thanks a lot. Thanks a lot there. So
Yeah.
good. So as so again, do we have callers there, Madam Producer? Let's go to the phone lines. Hello, caller. Caller. Not hearing the caller. All right. So as I was saying, that the transformation plan, but reject the draft without explaining why the board did not approve it. At the same time, another consulting firm, William Pragmatic Limited, which received nearly 93,000 US, representing 50% of the cost to produce an operation and turnaround plan for the UHWI, only delivered a draft document nearly 2 years after collecting the down payment. And there are more read, and certainly it is not good at all. And below that, we're seeing where government senator and member of the Jamaica Labour Party JLP Communications Task Force Marlon Morgan is rubbishing the claim from opposition leader Mark Golden that no law were broken by health care and janitorial service firm Jack Den Limited. Let's go to the phone line. Hello, welcome caller. Hello. Not hearing anyone there. All right. So we're also having the observer in front of us with a picture of Dennis Garden saying no crime, no resign. All right. Hello, caller. Caller. Not hearing the caller at all. All right. So member of parliament for St. Andrew East Central, Dennis Gordon, has rejected call for his resignation and scoffed at claim that he scammed the state out of millions of dollars when his company Jack Den Limited benefit from the University Hospital of the West Indies, UHWI, tax exemption status. In his first full media interview since the matter was raised in the caller is on there now? All right, let's go to the caller. Hello, caller.
Hello, good morning.
Hi, morning. Welcome to Straight Up. How are you doing?
Yes, man. Greetings, Prophet O'Brien. I trust you are well.
Oh, you're actually there? Yes, man. Not no false prophet, you know. Good prophet too.
All right,
How you
good
doing?
Prophet. I mean, I'm good. I trust you and the listeners had a good and restful Easter weekend.
Well, certainly I did, and I hope my listeners also did. Mm-hmm.
I have a particular challenge, Mr. O'Brien, because I'm trying to understand and appreciate something very, very simple.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if it is that this referenced convention by the UHWI, the University Hospital, right, where they would have brought in items for private entities and utilize their tax exemption, if it is that is improper, does the quote-unquote convention or historical practice of it make it right?
Absolutely not. It would if it is improper. However, hold on. No, but he did not state that it is proper. He alluded to the practice, but he didn't say that it is proper. As a matter of fact, hold on. As a matter of fact, to his credit, he believed that he to his credit, he had actually asked his member to step aside. He appointed him as spokesperson and also a member of the PAC, and action have been taken to remove him, and that is why people are questioning your own credibility, because you don't have the gall or the gumption to ask that your prime minister, the leader of your party and our prime minister of Jamaica, Andrew Holness, move forward. Although we understand it is an allegation, but the allegation is so damning against a member of the political executive for him to step aside.
Yeah. All right, so let me show you the fundamental difference. Rosie, based on the voice notes you're referencing or alluding to,
the many voice notes. The many voice notes.
She have made some allegations.
The many voice notes, right?
Donovan Williams, who is the person against whom certain claims are being made, has disavowed and has triumphantly rubbished those claims to the point where they are now in the court. A claim has been filed. Action has been taken by Donovan Williams, and that is at the Supreme Court as we speak.
And of course, Rose pushed back. And of course, Rose pushed back and dared him to sue.
Yeah, man.
And stand her ground. Stand her ground. So hold on, Marlon, because this is the situation now where the rubber hits the road, and we are very much aware that all these are allegations, and we're still saying that the allegation has reached a threshold because they are so egregious that the Prime Minister of Jamaica, and indeed the leader of the Labour Party. No, we're not talking about anybody here. We're talking about an elected official, a councillor of the KCMC. Hold on, please. I'll allow you. A councillor of the Jamaica Labour Party for the Raytown Division, Rosalie Hamilton, indeed accused a sitting member of parliament and a member of the political executive here in Jamaica of a lot of things, stealing, all sorts of something.
Conrad O'Brien's co-worker at Fleek Radio, or Conrad O'Brien's family member may advance very damning allegations against Conrad O'Brien. Yes? Conrad O'Brien, if he is able to rubbish or takes exception to those allegations, he has appropriate recourse available to him.
Marlon,
Sir,
with due respect, don't water down this thing. I keep on saying to you all, this is why the people are so skittish and stay away from the process and don't have any trust for you guys, because hear what you're coming. Hear the example that you're coming with. Hear the example that you're coming with. No man, no, do better than that, man.
The substantive point I'm making is that in the case of the embattled tennis court, the Auditor General, you know the difference between the Auditor General and Rosie in a voice note? The Auditor General, sir, is the authority in relation to undertaking probes of the nature that was undertaken in respect of the UHWI. A different kettle of fish from road. Because anybody, including your producer or a family member of yours, can come into the public domain with a voice note or any other claim in respect
Marlon, again, with due respect, have some respect and some regard for the people who are paying you as a parliamentary secretary and as a senator. Have some regard for their intelligence. You cannot talk about a situation where a regular run-of-the-mill person, ordinary person, come and say something about Conrad. We're talking about an elected official. Hold on. We're talking about two elected officials that is on this. One, a councillor accusing a member of the political executive of some very, very damning situation, and the very least. Hold on, Marlon, I know that quietly, in your quiet moment, you'll agree with me. And we're saying that the Prime Minister of Jamaica, who made the appointment, should basically act and remove Donovan post haste. We know the situation as it relates to his member of parliament status. He can't do anything about that. But the post that he basically appointed him to, he must move to remove him from there.
I do not concur with that observation.
Good. I know you wouldn't.
You, sir, that in relation to Dennis Gordon, the Auditor General made a particular finding, and the leg that Dennis Gordon is seeking to stand on is that this has been a convention and his entity has been a partner with the UHWI. If it is that nothing has been done wrong here, why would Dennis Gordon have taken steps only the day before the PAC committee meeting last Monday, as was conveyed by Julian Robinson, to pay the extent of the outstanding duties?
Good.
Why would he have made redress in that way if this was okay?
Good.
And this is a transaction, sir, that went through apparently from January of 2024. Over 2 years later.
Good.
The only reason why Dennis Gordon has made the payment he has made is because he has been exposed to Mr.
All right, fine. So, Marlon, fine. Hello, please. No, man, no, hold on, let's quiet side, go. Hold on, man. I am interjecting and you're basically shouting on top of yourself over me. You can't go, sir.
No, man, I'm not making my submission.
Yeah, I am saying to you, sir, that the truth is that, you know, there are 3 other companies, and hold on. You see how you yourself? You see how you tie up yourself? The other reference point that you made, they are not councillors and they are not member of parliament. You have to be careful when you come here in Amal and you step to the fireman. Burn.
The 3 other companies, sir, are companies that have contravened based on the Auditor General's report and the public.
I'm saying, good. And I'm saying this.
To a higher standard, he is an elected official. Yes, and the truth of the matter is
the more Marlon talk, the more you expose yourself. The more you talk, the more you expose yourself. Here, hold on. Hold on. You know, Marlon, I'm happy when you come and expose yourself and you're so naked. Here's the thing. You're just saying that. You're just saying. Hold on. Let me draw for you. Let me draw for you. Hold on. Let me say this to you. Here is it. I'm going to have to discontinue the call. All right, Marlon. Thanks a lot. No, but if I'm saying something and you can't allow me to speak as the host, right?
You're making your point.
Please.
Make your point, sir.
I am saying to you that you have exposed yourself to be so naked. Here you talk about the situation that Dennis is an elected official. in reference point to the other companies. And I'm saying to you that the similar scenario that you're painting would obtain Rosie. Rosie, I understand you perfectly, and no amount of red herring is going to work. Rosie is a city council, and what she said about Donovan, hold on, and what she said about Donovan Williams is damning. And if Rosie went out there on a frolic of her own and basically scandalize the sitting member of parliament and the junior minister, then she must also face the full blunt of the law. And hence I am saying that the Prime Minister of Jamaica, who is Donovan Boss, that appoint him to ministerial position, he must basically act and remove him from the executive of the government postings. All right, have to leave you there, Marlon. Have to leave you. No, have to leave you. I'm up on time. Marlon, I have to leave you. Madam Producer, could we move to the break? Marlon, sorry, I have to go. All right? Good. So that's it. We'll go to the final break. And when we come back, we take the remainder of your calls for the program. Stick and stay with us. Super.
I have never seen a sitting senator just want to yap, and nobody else must talk. Nobody else must allow to be to talk. You can't have a conversation with Marlon Morgan, you know. You see, this is what I'm talking about. Marlon came out. Where is the person now for the People's National Party to come out and counterpunch Marlon Morgan? When it comes on to coming on here talking all of these things. Huh? Where is the person? These are the things we're talking about. These are the things we're talking about. Conrad is doing an excellent program. Excellent program today, Conrad O'Brien. And the interview with the opposition leader was good. Marlon Morgan cannot come out point blank and say, we must. How this? Hello, you're live on air.
Morning, brother Jeffrey.
Morning, sir.
The man from Donga Show.
Yeah, but I am not on air though, you know. It's Conrad on air, not me.
Oh, yes, okay, to me you laugh a while ago in the question again.
Yes.
Man, me glad for you people. Me and the one tree I take it easy. I listen to O'Brien.
Is it raining down there?
Pardon?
Is it raining down there?
No, but we have been good season this time of the year, man. I first me ever see this time to me 81 years. Me touch this, you know, brother Jeffrey.
Okay.
So, me feel good sometimes when me hear you on the radio talk the truth, man. Speak the truth and speak it ever, my brother. Cause it what it will. I let him crucify Christ. People never speak up the truth.
Yes.
Admit that he was the savior of the world.
Yes.
And all who do it get their reward. Did some of the most hazardous way that man could think of us. People should be thinking what we are doing in life. Be glad me and my grand and great grand around me. And hoping and trying to do the best we can. My brother, congratulations to you people who stand up for us in Jamaica. Because no justice, no dire from high places, no shame. It's surprised you know say people no shame in them. But then say shame I know Lord but it broke neck man. I make Judas happy go in himself. So my brother, continue your work and big up to brother O'Brien for me because make me a listen him.
Alright my friend,
Thank
I will.
You.
Okay, bye.
Respect, sir. Respect.
We're standing by to rejoin Conrad O'Brien. Conrad's not on as yet. He's have a commercial break going on. As soon as Conrad get back up there, we'll go live back to Conrad O'Brien. Let's go back to Conrad O'Brien over there at Sleek Radio.
Right here in Sleek Radio. Of course, we're in the final half an hour of the program as we close out at 12 o'clock. And the station is Sleek Radio. Of course, the program Straight Up, and your host, Conrad O'Brien, the fireman. We have callers in line. Let's go there. Hello, caller.
Hi, Conrad. Good morning.
Hi, morning. How are you doing? How are you doing, Marie? Good morning to you.
Yeah, I'm...
Marie, yes?
See, Easter weekend or, whatever. Come up, but you did busy, Conrad. Come here all over the place, man. I think you did restful. It was very busy. Yes. Yeah, you're busy all about all of foreign you there. Yeah. Yeah, me hear you. Anyway,
All right. Cool.
Yeah. All right. I have two tunes. One of them are for Marlon and one for Rosie. Marlon, the one you feel. Wash, the late great Prince Buster, Scap period. Wash all the scandals away. Oh yeah. Marlon, like that lucky old...
Yes.
But trust me, that's all you do. Like how the sun roam the skies, that's all you do over social media. It not do your cause nothing. Because let me tell you, we out here in the public. Wash. Them now going. And the one for Rosie. Da 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 da. Can't touch this. All right, let's move along.
Move along, because we know we have some callers that try to get in because of
I'm just saying, right? I'm just saying. Remember this, because you see, with the war in Iran,
yes,
have lost faith in the president, and I've seen where the media, is coming out. Why not Jamaica media can't come out against all the corruption?
Good question. The biggest maga. When you listen to Tucker Carlson, nobody could tell that Tucker would basically come up against Donald Trump. You are to Marjorie Taylor Greene and all those people. We have to find some gumption, and that is why I said to Marlon just now. Hold on, and that's why I said to Marlon just now. Him have to guard the credibility. Because right now people are saying we are very, very thin.
Yeah, and even the...
Yes.
This is not what we voted for. The whole of the
I will now brief for Mr. Gardner Dennis. If Dennis basically run do anything and whatever have to happen, it will have to happen. But it can't come that it can't be that you cannot see it in front of you as big as breadfruit. That's what Rosie said against a member of the political executive, the governing political executive. And you can't find it within yourself to say, Prime Minister, the one look good. You need to tell the man to take for himself. And if Rosie, and as I said before, if Rosie, as I said before, Marie, if Rosie went out there on a frolic of her own and basically damage the gentleman in the way she did, she will have to pay for it as well. So either way, the Prime Minister needs to act.
And taken out of the party expelled from the party, because she has damaged the reputation of the party. I don't want the allegation she making, Conrad. Don't want to talk about
reams of voice notes, man. Reams of them.
Exactly. The evidence is there.
Yeah.
So,
but quickly, Marie, may have quite a few coming in and time.
I don't know what you're roaming over social media, and I try wash. It now wash my Marlon. It neither wash and it can't rinse. It not nothing. You have to look some old time blue soap and some blue for do this and hang this out on line for dry. Bye, have a blessed day.
All right. Take care. All the best. Good. Jamaica rejects St. Kitts' claim of first legal recognition of Rastafarian, and we're seeing a picture here of the Minister of Culture, the Honorable Oliver Olivia Bobsy Grange. All right, let's go to the phone line. Hello, welcome, caller.
Hi, good morning, Mr. O'Brien.
Hi, very good morning to you, ma'am. How you doing? This sounds like a first-time voice.
I am fine. The thing with Marlon, I don't think Marlon understands the word accountability, and that is the issue.
Are you a first-time caller, ma'am?
Yes.
Okay. Calling from Jamaica or overseas?
Overseas.
Okay, good. Welcome. Very special welcome to you, ma'am.
Thank you. I don't think he understands the word accountability. And when you spoke with Mr. Golden this morning, Mr. Golden did say what he is doing, and at the end of it, the same Donovan Williams was involved with the drill argument, and there was still no accountability. And it comes back again now with all these allegations, and it's still nothing.
The holding of shares for an undisclosed person that his government passed a law to say it's illegal.
Yes. Yes, and look at Darrell Vaz, still no accountability. And it goes on and on and on up to the leader of their party. They he's uncertified and there's nothing. So this party don't know how to take accountability for their wrongs. And because I don't think us Jamaican people stand up, because if we read and we understand, there is no way he should be there ruling over this country.
Well, ma'am, election have consequences. The Jamaican people went to the poll on the 3rd of September, and they came out with the majority. So, that's a consequence that they have to live with. However it is, that's the kind of democracy we have. Of course, there are people who question what some of things happen, but at the end of the day, the Jamaica Labour Party won. But certainly on the face of accountability and just being able to speak some truth to power, we have to develop that backbone. So to do, doesn't matter which party we vote for or who give us the work, but I guess that's not the case here in Jamaica. I just referenced Tucker Carlson in the United States. Couldn't be a more bigger mega than MAGA or than himself. Marjorie Taylor Greene decided that she's stepping away from the politics because she has to protect her own reputation.
Yes, and she put out, you see the thing she tweeted about the other day. She said the president is going insane.
Absolutely, I saw it. And indeed, even the utterance that we heard from him yesterday. How you come and threaten that you're going to totally obliterate a country of 92 million people, It don't make any sense. And doubling down, say, listen, he doesn't care if he create war crime. That is what we are hearing coming out of the mouth of the American president. I didn't know that I would live to hear those things.
You see, the difference is American people go out there. If you remember last Sunday, they had a big demonstration all across the U.S.
Yes.
If Jamaican people would go out and demonstrate and know their rights.
And I must commend the American people for that. Last night I was on a program and I was saying the same thing. That listen, what we find, the people of America has been mobilized. You hear the Democrat, they are there edging their people, they're talking and they're saying that the people have to take their country, right? The people have to move.
Yes. Well, Mr. O'Brien, it was a pleasure talking to you.
Thanks, and please don't stay away so long, all right? Lovely hearing your voice.
Okay.
All right, bye-bye. All right, so that's a caller there. First-time caller, she's calling in from the United States of America. I think, well, I didn't get exactly what state she's in, but she's calling from the U.S. The lines are open. We have a few minutes to go. 876-212-9824. That's 876-212-9824 and 876-462-0919. Let me say hi and good morning to the people out there in Central Village once again, especially the management and staff out there at Tantan Wholesale and Retail, and to Tanisha herself. Hi Tanisha, how are you doing? All right, I hope you're having a good day. Oh, we have callers. Let's go to the phone line. Hello, welcome caller.
Morning, Obi.
Hi Marshall, what going on, man? Talk to me.
You see, when when it was News Talk 93, you see? Marlon caused me to behave a certain way on the radio one morning. It's dirty attitude. He can only talk to people. He cannot talk with people. He can only monologue. He can't dialogue. He can't. And it's a strategy used just to push across his propaganda. And we get used to you on it now, Marlon. Marlon, you're not doing any good. You're not doing any good. We are not set up guns out here. So you can go and talk your talk and keep up your hanky-panky.
Yeah,
no, you see, concerning Jack them, well, you, Mr. You know where I used to work. And I used to work around here.
Yeah, man, in the medical field, yes.
Yeah, I can tell you this. You have some medical business that would rent place and, for example, health center, hospital compound. Now, when they rent them and the compound, as long as they are doing the work for the medical people, they would pay a cheaper rent. But guess what? The customer or the patient will get a discount.
Yes.
They will pay less. That's a deal they make. You understand? So, I know the similar thing go on with Jack them, you know. That's why even the minister refer people to come and Jack them, you know.
Jack Den, yes.
Jack Den.
Den, D-E-N.
Jack Den. So we don't know what take place. All what Marlon is going on with now is hypocrisy, right? If things go wrong, wait, nothing, wait, shouldn't go that way. All them have to do is change it. But look here now, the position that they put Jack Ben in, you know. Jack Ben now can't afford to give the discount price again, you know.
Knowing Dennis, hold on, knowing Dennis Garden, the Dennis Garden that I know, I can assure you, I can assure you that, you know, just for his mother, if it's not even for him, just for his mother, he will not renege and offering the people of Jamaica a discounted price. I am prepared to vote for him on that.
This is what people should know. That what the university and Jack Ben did, you would pay a cheaper price than if you go to other places, right? That's why university work out something with Jack Ben. So
put it this way, Marshy. Put it this way, Marshy. And that is probably one of the reasons why we probably need to hear more from the University of the West Indies Hospital or the University Hospital of the West Indies. You know, but I say this to you that I have secured an interview with the Jack Den boss, Mr. Dennis Garden. I don't know if it will be tomorrow or Thursday, maybe preferably Thursday, because I have to work it through with my producer. So we'll probably more say for Thursday, because I think it is important for us, the Jamaican people, at home and abroad, to hear in his own voice. We know we have some print information on the Observer yesterday, but we want to hear from Dennis in his own voice, and we are trying to facilitate that.
Well, you see the thing about it, young Jamaican, Marlon Morgan, and some others don't really want to hear the truth because it would suit them. People like those people who gone down Fort Royal Street or wherever they know. They don't want to hear the truth. They just want to spread the propaganda. But it's all right. Let them go on. Let me go to something else. Because we out here, we don't know what's going on. What Marlon must find out. Marlon, can you find out if any JLP member is a director Jack them? Can you, Marlon? If you don't know, I can tell you. I won't tell you on Sleek Radio. Marlon, we know what going on. We know the whole political gimmick where you're going with Marlon. Let me tell you something else.
And may even be I'm not going to go so far, but may very well be a partner in the business as well.
See, I'm so we know. Come on, you can't go on with the hanky-panky. We have better sense. So people like you make Kingston College lose chance.
You know, easy at all.
Yeah, man.
Leave my purple friends.
A 82-year-old man.
Oh, my God.
Beaten by a policeman. Me not hear the church. Me no hear young John Jamaica. Me don't know if them are the hypocrite on Port Royal Street there where the JP can do nothing wrong. Me no hear Marlon Morgan there. Me no hear none of them come out and eat out against a behavior like this. And I must tell you, you see the beating where the police give the 82-year-old man and the Prime Minister and the Minister of National Security send them out there for go do it.
When you say send them out, what do you mean?
If they are against things like that, it would stop already. It comes right back to the Commissioner of Police, the Prime Minister, and the Minister of National Security.
Well, what happened? Let's be careful. I can't say that the Prime Minister and the lead and the Minister send the police out there to go and beat the gentleman. Not so. However, there are certainly two things that are happening within the police force that seems certainly anomalous. We have seen where 12 persons killed since the start of this month of April by the police. And I believe that we need to hear much more from the Prime Minister and the Minister of National Security on that. But to say that they sent them out there to beat the gentleman, I think it's a little stretch.
Listen to me. Let me ask you a question. What did the Prime Minister said about the judge and the maker?
Yeah, man. But even with that,
what did the Commissioner of Police said? Not the Commissioner of Police. What did the Minister of National Security say?
I don't remember. What did he say?
The police?
What did he say?
Them.
What did he say?
What
did he say? Remind me.
It make a speech similar to what people like Dudley Thompson and you share and make long time ago. Shoot first. Ask question after.
Okay.
Similar line of argument they all make. And here you know, to the people, run of that area there, remember some of the Grange people, them there, you know, them people that vote fully JLP. Me know hear Bob the Grange come out, me know hear the people then come out and demonstrate, and you know why me know say the man are no bad man, the 82-year-old man are no bad man, if I did bad man, the people them would have come out and demonstrate already.
Well, what happened? There are people within the community that came out and say at the particular time and was basically certainly hitting out on the police to say, boy, how could you beat a man like this? You're sorry for the poor man. The man not do nothing more than ask a question or reply to a question. And that police, whoever he is, he should be charged. He should be taken to court. And he should be given prison time. He should be sent to prison to spend some time out there. You cannot basically use your authority to abuse an elderly, anybody at all, first of all. However, it becomes much worse when you talk about an 82-year-old gentleman. This man could have probably been his grandfather by way of age. Or certainly is that.
Let me tell you something. Me are 72. And when me see the police them out there for operation, me I walk past and feel free, you know, so Chuck, then she tell me a old boy, then now got trouble me. No, me get it wrong.
You certainly have. You certainly have.
Me young guy, the 72-year-old, the 82-year-old man, right? So the woman man beat me too. This is troubling. No Prime Minister now say anything. Him can't say anything. Mr. Prime Minister, you cannot say anything. Mr. National Security Minister, you cannot say anything. Mr. Commissioner, me now lay everything at the feet of you, you know. And you are them boss. But I will then tell you, if you send out your man if you got to
But certainly,
come from up there, so.
I'll close it out with this, Marsha. Certainly, at the very least, we should have heard a statement from the Minister of National Security and by extension the Prime Minister on this particular issue with the 82-year-old gentleman already. We should have.
All right. In passing, Marlon love to talk about everything. Marlon agree with it too, because if the police do something wrong, Marlon would have run come out in my young Jamaica, he would have run come out and criticize the police behavior. Marlon, you agree with it too.
All right, Marsha. Bless you. All right, take care. All right, let's see if we can take a few, well, at least one or so more if persons are there. The number is 876-212-9824. All right. So this conversation about the Rastafarian community, which of the countries, whether it is St. Kitts or St. Kitts or Jamaica, of course, Babsy is defending Jamaica in this particular case. It seems that we basically recognize the Rastafarian before our Caribbean colleague over there in St. Kitts and Nevis. All right. Newborn heartache. All right. Mother's grief after baby dies during labor at Cornwall Regional Hospital. We're seeing a picture here of the mother of that child. And do we have anybody there, Madam Producer? All right. So let's see if I can read a sentence or so for this. What should have been one of the happiest moments of Shadane life ended in heartbreak on Good Friday instead of leaving the Cornwall Regional Hospital. Cradling the baby boy she had spent months preparing for. The 33-year-old first-time mother said she returned home empty-handed, struggling to make sense of how her long-awaited pregnancy went down the drain. All right, so that said, let me say, hello, caller? Hello, caller?
Hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, sir. 2 minutes. Mm-hmm.
Oh, I like my Prime Minister in talk this morning. My future Prime Minister.
Oh, you're a comrade. You're a PNP man. All right. Mm-hmm.
Well, I like the party that speak up for truth, you know. So,
all right.
Yeah, that's my party. And you see, one of the things I'm saying that if I see Marlon Morgan on several platforms, or even the people in the YouTube channel trying to defend his party. And if your party was doing so good, people that recognize it, they didn't have to need to go all over the place and try to defend his party. And you know, like sometimes his party make a lot of what I call it now,
blunders.
His party then do a lot of things like Christopher Tufton and all that. And never hear Marlon come out and speak against it or anything. And that's just bias, so people not even want to hear. You know, look, well, I have to just turn off the radio when he's talking because
no, man, you mustn't do that. You mustn't do that. Be tolerant. No. I encourage. The problem that I have with Marlon and a person, Marlon tend to come and he believe. Marlon to me seems as if he believe that he has a special place here and him can come and just behave and just run and go on like that and so on. And it's not so. It can't be like that. I demand that you have respect for him because I said that I have listened to Marlon over and over. And as him start with them foolishness, then cut him off. So you understand, that's my concern, and I don't really want it to get to that point where we have to basically be cutting off Marlon and ban them and so on. I don't want it to get to that, so I'm asking him to just chill. But I have to leave you there quickly. 1 second.
You know, sometimes the Labour Party them tell a lot of lies and believe their lies, and that's the problem. They believe they won't lie and try to convince other people they lie. So they're not just in the corner with their own lies. I'm not interested in them. All
right, my friend. Thanks a lot. All right, thanks a lot. Okay, so we're up on time. Of course, let me say thanks to the President of the People's National Party, Mark Jefferson Golden, for joining us this morning. Certainly, we had enjoy that interview, and to all our callers and our viewers, our texters, everybody. Haven't gotten the chance to read much of your text this morning, but certainly enjoy you calling. To the new callers and indeed the new listeners, please continue to share the program. Of course, those of you who join us on the Conrad OB, the Fireman YouTube channel, those of you on the 93 FM band, and indeed those of our callers and listeners online, the www.sleekradio.com. We're indeed delighted to have you. All right. And we were supposed to have the mother of the young man who lost his eye up at Homewood Technical High School. Something went on and we just did not get to carry her this morning at all. But we look forward in having her join us in the new feature. Of course, the young man is represented by Attorney at Law Charles Gangasingh. Until you join us again tomorrow, on behalf of my producer Tanya Richards, Conrad O'Brien saying so long.
I want to say thanks to Conrad O'Brien for An exciting program this afternoon, an exciting interview with opposition leader Mark Golden. Join the Make We Talk program at 7 p.m. US time, 6 p.m. Jamaica time this evening when we come to an exciting episode of the Make We Talk program. I'm Jeffrey Tavares, and we have all of us here saying so long. May God bless you. May God bless our island home, Jamaica land we love. Have a great afternoon, everyone. See you later. Remember to like, share, and subscribe.
When the game gets rough and this life just seems so tough, make we talk, my people, make we talk. When this town becomes an ugly place, don't let it erase the smile from your face. Make we talk, people, make we talk. Conversation is the key, a guiding light for you and me. Spark a talk and you will see. Conflict solver A to Z. World leaders master the art of self-defense just by talk. So people, make we talk. Hey, we're living in a world that on ourselves we must depend. Make we talk.